So as we're having a problem with YouTube today, I thought perhaps now might be the time to update you on the status of the whole chimney situation. Now obviously the chimney itself has been resolved. Once it falls to the ground and shatters, that's pretty much the end as far as its story goes. But the ripples go on, and on and on. So in this case, we'll talk about one of the effects. Now as I mentioned, we put in a new ceiling in there strong enough that we could have an attic now to put things in. As a result, I was able to close down my storage unit and no longer needed to have that anymore to save money. Well, I told my son, you need to get rid of some of your stuff that he'd been keeping in the storage unit because you got too much crap here. Either get your own storage unit or get rid of it. He decided the best option was to stack it all in his room. This wouldn't be a problem, except that he is not the cleanest person with his name. Now, some of the crap that he picks up is a real problem because it is... Take it from the most disreputable places. I don't mean like from off the back of a truck or something. And I'm talking about some kind of Nazi gold or drugs or something. I mean, like he'll go to a dirt mall and buy something that clearly has not been laundered in this century and bring it home and stink up the place. Well, wouldn't you know it, one of the things he brings home has some bed bugs in it. He doesn't tell me this. He also doesn't do anything about it. What he does is I find him sleeping on the recliner in the living room. The living room is directly outside my office. So that's how I found out. I pop out in the middle of the night because that's when I'm usually working, and there he is, sleeping in a chair instead of in his room. I'm half wondering if it's because he piled crap all over his bed and can't sleep on it anymore. So that's how I found out that he brought bed bugs into my fucking house. So I say, you cannot ignore this situation. Leaving aside everything else, we've also got cats to think about. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I have 3 cats. These 3 cats are my cats, by which I mean I adopted them and brought them in, and they are a part of my family. I've got 2 more cats, though, that were once belonged to someone who was just until they finished moving. Well, right now she's in a nursing home. It's not looking too good that she's going to be moving anywhere where she's going to be bringing cats here. But my wife said, oh, no problem. We'll watch these elderly cats. One of the cats is a particular problem, Spunky. Because, A, he keeps bullying one of my cats, who already had emotional issues. That's why he was surrendered and why we brought him in. We wanted to take good care of him. And then here's this cat that's not even ours that's bullying him. So I'm not happy about that. And this is going on and on and on with Spunky. Plus, things get worse. That Spunky apparently has developed an allergy to something, as he's constantly either coughing or sneezing. This is going on for quite some time. And in fact, it became such a nuisance as my wife's like, what do I do about it? I said, I don't know. Look it up on the internet. Well, that was a mistake. Because she comes back, oh, we've got to take him to the vet. I can't afford to take a cat that's not even ours to the vet. I could barely afford to take care of my own cats to the vet. In any event, he doesn't need to go to the vet. He's just got an allergy. Give him a small amount of Benadryl. There's a ratio of body weight to Benadryl that you can give him, and it'll deal with his allergy. No, you don't understand. He's got a respiratory condition. He's sneezing and coughing. Well, yeah, obviously. Well, that could be contagious. So it's a fucking allergy. That doesn't matter. It's still contagious. No, it's not. It's an allergy. This goes on for 45 minutes, and that's not exaggeration. So the last things I need right now is A, one more interruption around here, and also something else that the cats can spread around the house. So I told my son, we need to have a plan of attack here. We need to do something about that situation. In the meantime, you're not sleeping on this recliner. This is not going to work out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and buy you a new mattress because your mattress clearly has to be disposed of after this. And we'll have you sleep on it down here while you're clearing out your room so that we can deal with this bed bug situation. We get him a mattress. Now, I'm going to hold off on the details of that whole adventure for the end. Right now, let's just skip ahead to we have the mattress. So I spend all this time clearing out a space in the back room of the house. The back room of the house is basically a combination storage and laundry area, but it's just like any other room. I clear out space to put down the mattress, only what do I find? Max doesn't want to sleep in the back room. He's worried about spiders. That's not just a general thing about spiders. We do have a spider issue here. We've had it since we moved into this place. There was a note on my TV Tropes page. Someone speculating that spiders are my primal fear. No. If I had a primal fear of spiders, then I would be running around my house with gas cans, splashing it all over the outside, and then throwing the cans themselves through the window and just burning that thing to the ground. No, not a problem. I'm not fans of them, but I don't have a primal fear of them. I've been bitten in the middle of the night, and it's mostly just an inconvenience, not a soul-shriveling experience. Well, there's no more reason to have spiders back there than anywhere else in the house. And it's not as if because the complication is that we live on an island. Consequently, there's a lot of insects around, bugs, mosquitoes, and all that buzzing around, and spiders help deal with that. I'm thinking that might be the reason why we got so damn many of them, is there's such a massive, food source that any of the little ones have a chance to survive. So I'm disinclined to kill them all, because they're doing me such a good service with that. But nevertheless, there's that problem there. The spiders, and the bed bugs, and the cats. Like the world's shittiest Dr. Dolittle. So I tell my son, fine, you can put it in the living room. But understand, I work in the next room, and I come through here in the night while you're sleeping. If you're going to sleep in there, you're going to have to accept the fact that I do that. Yeah, okay, fine. And don't forget, during the day, you work on cleaning that room out so we can deal with the bugs. So, a couple days pass, and it's like 2:30 in the morning. And I'm working because that's the hours I have sometimes. And all of a sudden, I hear the front door. Now, I know I'm the only one awake. I saw everyone else go to bed. Who just came into my house? I head to the door, crack it open, and see my son walking back from the front door to the bed. Naked, because he'd been sleeping. And I said, "What did you just do?" He said, "There's a cat in here, so I got rid of it." There's a cat in here. Yeah. And this fact surprised you. Yeah. Oh, I think I just threw out Spunky. Well, that's one way to solve that problem. Thank you, Max. So I go outside. There's Spunky sitting out in front of the house looking at me, very confused, wondering what it is he's done. So I bring Spunky back inside, and I talked to Max the next morning. I said, "You got to get your shit sorted out, because we got to get you out of here, because you're doing things in your sleep, and I don't know what the next step is going to be. One of these days, you're going to go outside to use the bathroom or something. That's all I need." "Well, this bathroom is the freshest I've ever seen it." So he slowly starts to clear all the shite out of his room so that we can finally go in there to deal with the bed bug situation. By the time we get it cleared out to deal with the bed bugs, we're like, okay, now what do we do? We've never had to deal with bed bugs before, and we don't want it to spread. So how do we handle this? So we look around, and the solution by everyone is pretty much the same. Heat. Heat up the room so it gets so hot it kills them and the eggs. All the exterminators use special heaters in order to do that. So I said, well, why don't you try calling one of these exterminators and see if you can hire one of them to do it? It's a small room, so hopefully they won't charge you much. So he comes back to me. There's only one place that'll do it, and they said they'll only do the whole house. Okay, well, what would that cost? $6,000. I said, do you have $6,000? No. Well, then I think we're going to have to redneck this situation. Again. Now, what made this particularly challenging was we didn't find out this until after the nice warm weather led to a massive drop in temperature. Yeah, of course it couldn't have happened when it was still 60 degrees out. It had to drop down to near freezing. Of course. You see, now this is a particular problem because Max's room is the only room in the house that does not have a ventilation. In order to heat or cool the room, he needs to put a portable device in there in order to control the climate. It's a very small room. As established, this house is, by American standards, very old. When the guy said to me, they don't make them like that anymore, my thought was, yeah, they outlawed slavery. So this room is not easy to control the temperature of at the best of times. And now it's cold outside, which means it's cold in the room. We need to get this room hot, really hot. I don't just mean turn up your thermostat hot. It's got to be boiling in that room in order to kill the bugs and the eggs. So I said, Max, we're going to take a lesson from NASA here. We're going to do this in stages. Stage 1, you're going to get a bunch of cheap, that you don't mind breaking, space heaters to put in there. And you're going to run a single cord out of the room under the door to one, so you don't pop the breaker, and turn them all on and get that room as hot as you possibly can. Okay, and then what? Then you have to use propane. To be clear now, you have to get a special kind of propane heater. A lot of them cannot be used in enclosed spaces. This one could. We made sure of it. But we got a propane one. We said, kick that on. Then once we get the temperature up, way up there, and then we'll let it run all day. Well, we get it going. And then we go to ignite the propane one, only to find the room is freezing cold. My wife had unplugged the extension cord after being told to leave it alone because nobody's the boss of her. So the next day, we launched a second time and we cooked that room. We got it up to almost 100 degrees just with the space heaters, and then we kicked on the propane and got it up to the high 130s and kept it there. See, timing was real important because I knew with everything we were doing, we need to have somebody monitoring at all times. It had to go for a long period of time. So, I had to monitor remotely the temperature inside of the room, have fire extinguishers outside just in case, carbon monoxide detector just in case there was a problem, deal with all the potential things that could go wrong. But no, it worked. The bed bugs all died. We threw away the old mattress, cleaned up in there just to be sure, and then put him back up there so he would stop throwing the cats out of the door in the middle of the night. So that's the end of that saga. Now there's a reason, as you are about to hear, that I skipped the mattress stuff for the end here. So to skip back to that point, I grab my son and I say, okay, we need to go out and get your mattress. We're going to have to leave right now because Luke has a job interview and we'll need to leave for that at such and such time. He says, but that's an hour from now. I thought the place we were going to is just a few miles away. I say, yeah. Well, how long does it take to get a mattress? I said, oh, you'll find out. See, while there are mattresses all over the place for sale, what it usually is that there are display models, and that if you want a mattress, they actually then ship it to you, and you gotta wait. And we can't afford to wait in this particular situation, so we need to be able to get a mattress right then and there. Only, we also can't afford to pay for one of those, oh, we've got them in stock mattresses that they charge you so much more for. Fortunately, there's a solution, and that solution is Les. Les is 84 years young and still runs his shop. He looks kind of like a cross between George Burns and Harlan Ellison, both at the end of their lives. We've been in Les's place on many occasions, so that's how I knew what we were in for. I've gotten so many great deals on stuff here. We got creme de la creme is what we call the ugly chair. We call it that because the pattern on it is hideous. If one of the cats throws up on it, and rest assured, with 5 cats, it happens kind of often, it's not even a rush to clean it up. You can hardly notice. Despite that, though, it's incredibly comfortable, very solid, very big. You can lounge in it in any possible position, and it's just great, except it's hideous. We also got this really useful, I don't even know what it's called. It's like some kind of a sort of a cabinet, but not really. It's got all these little sort of shelves and nooks inside of it. It's got a double wide door that folds on the left and another door on the right that you open. But it's really useful. We can stash all kind of stuff in there in our bedroom. I mean, like water bottles and clothes and stuff. It's not where I keep my dildo suit or anything like that. Yeah, but we've gone to Les for washing machines or got a nice hutch from there. I still have it like 19 years later. So we've been to Les. We know what we're going to get in all possible ways. So we go we go inside, and I will do my best to do the way Les talks. We'll see how well it works out. I swear, by the way, to my recollection, everything I am saying is exactly what he said. In fact, I think I might be leaving some of the things out. So we go in there, and Les comes shuffling down. Hello. How do you do, young man? He says, slapping me on the shoulder. I'm 50 years old. How you doing, young man? Why'd you come here for? I said, we came here for this young man. I said, putting my hand on my son's shoulder. He needs a mattress. Oh, well, you come to the right place. We've got all kinds of mattresses here. Whatever you're looking for. What are you looking for? We need a twin size. I've got just things for you here. Come on over here and try some of them out. You decide what you like. So Max goes over. He lays on the first of 4 that Les thinks might be good. And Max lays on. I said, now, really take in how it feels, because you're going to sleep on it every day for years to come. So you want to make sure that it's right. Les stops, turns, and puts a hand on my shoulder again and says, that advice is gold. Yes. You make sure, young man, because I tell people don't ever buy a mattress that you ain't laid on first. You guys try this one here, too. Takes us to the second one, lays on it. I got another one over here. And we start heading over there, and he stops and says, I used to work with this place from Chicago. And then they screwed me. They screwed me. I said, never again. So I went with this other place. And I think it was Ingram or something. I went with Ingram. And I tell people, they have forgotten more about how to make mattresses than any of the other guys know. So I only go with Ingram from now on. Well, great, I say. Got any more for us to try out? I got one right here. Try it out, young man. He tries that one out. Tries one more out. Which one do you like? But I like the third one. Yeah, it's a good choice, young man. It's a PL. That stands for plush. Let's go and see how much it is. He goes, Les's shop really tries to make good use of that square footage. It It is kind of like if my son had just turned his room into a furniture store. That same level of trying to cram as much crap into one small area as possible. In this case, he's got beds with mattresses on them, and he's got them lined, refrigerators and washing machines lined up in front of them so you can't get to the mattresses and the beds. So he goes over there and shoves this refrigerator aside. I was going to help him, but I was afraid that there was going to be some kind of collision in this tight space there, and I wind up having him, crack his nose on it or something. So I just stayed out of his way. So the 84-year-old guy shoving a refrigerator aside. Price isn't there. So he moves the next fridge over. There's the price. Oh, this is the wrong mattress. Okay. So he pushes the refrigerators back. We head further down. There it is, right there. That's the one. PL. The PL stands for plush. Okay. Alrighty. So, $385. I'll tell you what I'll do. Since you're buying it today, I'll let you have it for $350. All right, sounds good. Great. Let's see about, there's like all these washing machines and refrigerators between us and the mattress. And he's looking and he says, wait a second. I forgot I got one over here we could use. There's a bed near the back with a mattress on it, and got crap piled all over the mattress, but just like regular crap, not like appliances. I just got to move all this stuff out of the way here. We can use this one. It's the right one. PL. That stands for plush. So he goes over there and starts taking all this stuff off of it that he's piled up on this mattress. It's still sealed in plastic, so it's fine. It's not been contaminated or anything. He picks up a pair of glasses frames. No glass in it, just the frames. And he looks at it and goes, cataracts. That was the worst. And I've been afraid that everything I've been saying sounds like I'm just trying to speak just enough to get him to shut up and move on. I don't want to be impolite, so I say, yeah, I know what you mean. My wife had cataracts. She had to have cataract surgery. And he says to me, was it the black fellow? I don't think he was being racist. I think he just figured that there were only like 3 in the area, and that was one of them. I don't know what was going through his head, but I don't think he was being racist. Mostly he was just angry with the guy because of the story that followed. He did my left eye first, and then a year later I had to go back in. He didn't do it right the first time. It wasn't any good. So he had to do it, and then he charged me again. Can you think of any other job where if you do the job wrong, you still get paid? I tell you, I got in the wrong business. Well, I never met him, so I don't know if it was the same guy. Okay. So he keeps moving stuff, and finally I said, we need to actually be somewhere. Could we come back in like an hour or so to pick this up? Oh, yeah, I'll have all this cleared off by then. No problem. Why don't you just come over here with me? I said, good. As we're walking, I said, you do financing, correct? No, we don't do financing. Well, now I wanted my son to finance it because I thought it'd be nice to build a little bit of something on his credit history for this minor purchase here. And the reason I asked if he had financing is because the picture of the store on the website has a huge sign in the window that says, financing available. So, silly me for assuming that picture was still relevant. I said, well, that's no problem. I'll just put it all on my debit card. Oh, you're going to use a card, huh? Okay, well, I got to tell you, if you use a card, I got to charge you 3%. Okay, that's fine. Okay, then. All right, well, let's do this. He pulls out this pad, and it's got the white, and then the yellow carbon, and the pink carbon, and the little cardboard flap that goes under them. I honestly didn't think they made them anymore. But he pulls one of those out, sets it up, and pulls out a pen, and he's like, writes down, okay, we got, okay. He pulls out this big-ass calculator, one of those old ones with the buttons that are the size of almost like postage stamps, and writes down 350 on this calendar on his desk. And, okay, 5%. And he does it on the calculator. And it says, we're lucky we're not in Menominee or Outagamie, so we don't have to do anything but the 5%. You are local, right? Yeah, we live nearby. Good. That we won't have to worry. Puts down the 5% there, and then adds them by hand. Okay. Big calculator there. Adds them by hand. Now 3% of that. Plugs it into the calculator this time. 1102. But he only puts down 11. I don't know if that was for his benefit or mine. It could be that he was trying to save me 2 cents, or that he didn't feel like having to do the extra math, because again, he added them up on the calendar with the calculator right there. Okay. That's what we got there. He shows it to me. Okay, good. And then he takes the pad and begins writing the numbers on there. And I should add, at this point, reiterate, I have not made up, for the benefit of comedy, any of this story. It is, as I recall it, completely accurate to the last detail. I feel the need to add that because what he does is he puts the pad on top of where he has written the numbers, writes a number, picks the pad up to look at it, puts the pad back down on top of the numbers, writes it, and does it the whole fucking way down. But finally, he's got all that in there and says, all right, well, need to have a name now. So I hand over my debit card because the people that I've seen use this actually write the numbers down on it. I mean, I haven't seen one of these things in like 15 years or something, but that was the last time, they did. So I give him the card, but all he needed was my name, so he copies my name off the card. All right. Charles G. Sonnen SONNENB. URG. Right. Okay. But JR. Right. All right. What's your address? I give him the number. He writes it down. Then I give him the street. We were just there. Well, I was just, and he starts drawing this like curve and a line and points at it as if that meant something. And he nods at me and said, we'd have gone any further, we'd have wound up in the water. I said, yeah, it's an island. Yeah. And we had to do a delivery out there. But can't do a delivery today as he's not here. Can't hire nobody no more. Nobody wants to do an honest day's work anymore. Yeah, that's rough. Anything else? Oh, I've got to run this through the machine over here. Now, this is the part I've been nervous about, because with all of the crap that he's got, I'm afraid that he's going to whip out one of those old cha-chink kind of credit card readers, and we'll realize it won't work because mine is the newer ones that don't have the raised surface. on account of that technology dates back to like Jimmy Carter. But no, thankfully he's got a little machine. And he goes to it. Someone used this and didn't replace the paper when they used it up. I don't do everything around here. So he goes to get another thing of roll, but then the phone rings. Now, the way the place goes, I was again expecting some kind of old-fashioned rotary phone, maybe even one of those ones that are mounted on the wall where you have to pick up the little piece on the side and then talk to the part in the front there, maybe turn the handle a little bit. Oh, hello. Well, no, thankfully he was operating with like a 1980s cordless. So we were waiting there as he talks to the customer on the line there. And comes back and I can never get these darn things to work. He says, picking at the little roll of paper. Okay, you do this for me? Sure, I'll help. Oh, no, never mind. I got it. Okay, now we're cooking. Puts it in the machine, closes it up, takes my card, and it's not working. Why is it not working? Futzes with it a bit. And okay, you got to put your numbers in now. So you do that. So he hands it over to me, and I punch in my PIN number, take my card out, and he looks at it. It's not working. Let me just check this. I don't want to double bill you or anything for the... Up there it goes. There we are. All set. Rips off the piece of paper, goes to the pad, pulls them off, looks at the 3 carbons and tries to decide which one I'm supposed to get. Finally settles on the pink one, gives it to me and says, okay, when you come back, I'll have this cleared off and ready for you, young man. Great. We'll be back in probably an hour. Fantastic. I'll see you then. So we leave. And as we get to the car, my son says, Dad, why don't we come here? I said, because you paid about $375 for a $500 mattress, and all it cost you was your time.